Welcome to our latest call of the Women's Wisdom Circle. Really glad that you could make it and that we could resume our conversation. It's been, August 31st was our last hangout. So it's been October, November, my God, 2.5 months, right? Almost a little over 2.5 months. So I'm quite happy that we can continue the conversation. I just want to say that Liz had said that she is going to join us, but she had, her father had an open heart surgery today, so she wasn't sure whether she was able to make it. She might come a little later, and maybe she will not. But she asked me to convey her greetings and say hi to all of you. So I just wanted to not forget to say that, because part of what we had been talking about on our last call was a lot of topics that Liz brought up from her own channeling and whatever she had been receiving. And a number of us had been saying we want to talk about some of the topics like power, money, religions, etc. So I don't know where the conversation will lead today. I had a little comment when I had sent the email out. I had kind of said, what are the obstacles to our experience of oneness? And how can we individually participate in the collective healing of our fragmentation? And before we start talking about it, I still want to do a little meditation, but I also want to make some additional comments based on everything that's happening in the world in the last, in the last week, which is totally linked to the topic that I think we need to address, which is that oneness. It's been exactly, in about a week, and since we had those attacks in Paris, and there's been some other attacks today, and it is really very important that we start to understand, hello Viviane, the concept of oneness. And we talked about it a little bit last time. I know it was Viviane who talked about it. And what I wanted to share actually is something that I had been inspired by listening to a call from Humanity Team. I just want to read you some notes on what Steve Farrell, in a call from Oneness in the 12 Spheres of Life, had been saying on oneness. So I'm just going to read my notes, In Humanity's Team, we see there is only one presence, the divine, and see we are all offsprings and expressions of the divine. This means God's love, light, and grace are ours, because there is no separation and we share the same essence. Of course, when we talk about oneness with the divine, this is true for all of life, not just humanity. This has repercussions for how we see ourselves, the others, and the earth as our home. This means everyone and everything is sacred and should be treated as such. It also means we are responsible for the world around us, because in truth it is part of our essential self, encompassing the whole of the earth. Perhaps there is nothing more as important as this, coming to see ourselves as a cell of the body of the divine, the earth, and stepping into a role where we are caring for the earth and the world that we live in. I know when I had heard him talk about oneness that way, I got it. Because I've also been talking about oneness and still sometimes coming from the intellectual understanding that I have about oneness and the mental construct that I have about oneness. And then earlier today, I'm sharing all those things just as points to get started, to kind of trigger a few things. I had also listened to Panache Desai, or I had read something from him, and I listened to a call where the comment that I had noted here, he said, your struggle seems so real to you. In truth, they only exist on one dimensional plane of reality. As a spiritual being, your ability to transcend the body and the mind allows you to access and implement soulful solutions. It is then that you step courageously into your destiny. And when I read this, it was like, to me, it became clear, yes, because last time we ended the call by kind of making various comments about what we could be talking about, and also realizing that we are living in an illusion, in a mental construct where a lot of the conditioning through, we can talk about this. This is all the obstacles to our oneness, all the stuff we have believed as such because we listened to this and that, the conditioning, the growing up in all those things that have created all those blockages to really coming together in that core, in that heart center, in that true expression where we can generate quite a different reality, which is more and more needed now, especially when you see all the reactions left, right, and center to the violence that is happening around us. So I just wanted to kind of set the stage and see what is emerging by sharing all those things that got triggered for me, and that has helped me deepen my own understanding of that oneness, and taking it out of the intellectual, literally, it's helped me take it out of the intellectual understanding of what I thought I knew about oneness. And ever since I have shifted, because it's been, I would say in the last 3 weeks, something has shifted for me. I have a level of acceptance of what is, and ability to feel compassion for people who are not there yet, instead of being in a judgment. That's probably the biggest shift for me. I was very much in judgment still. So not really part of the solution, but still part of the problem. And this has shifted for me recently. So I just wanted to say that, to be transparent, and not feel that I'm coming from, something that I know better than, because I don't, I'm kind of moving through those spaces real time. So perhaps we can just take a moment to do a centering meditation, and then see what you resonate with and what wants to emerge from our collective space based on this or whatever gets triggered through the space. Yeah. So if you just want to come together and take a moment and close your eyes, taking a few deep breaths together, uniting through the breath. And allowing the breath to connect us to that circle around the world. Hawaii, Finland, New Zealand, France, California, and perhaps some other people will join us, coming a bit late. Let's include them. And just letting that energy, maybe we can hold hands virtually and allowing that energy to move in through our left hand and to get passed around in the circle through the right hand. Just really allowing that connection to the heart and our connection to our home, the earth. And the connection to the divine, the cosmos, the larger field of life. To get anchored in our heart. Just taking a moment to see what resonates in your heart. Taking a moment to relax in your body so that you can better listen in to what wants to emerge. That co-creative field, the co-creative field with spirit, where we listen not to the mind, but to the body and the heart, allowing emergence of what wants to be said through our circle, what wants to emerge and take voice. So that we may be part of the solution and help elevate the vibrations around us. Just taking a moment to check in what is emerging for you right now. So the heart space that we are creating in our community, healing whatever wants to emerge. Taking one more deep breath, and as you exhale, allowing you to gradually come back to your physical body in your respective location. Taking another deep breath. When you exhale, gradually coming back to normal conscious reality. And one more deep breath. When you exhale, back to the room and open your eyes. And welcome Deborah. Deborah has joined us from Colorado.
Hey, Deborah.
Hi. I was listening but couldn't get in, so I had to go back to the email and find the right link.
Great. All right. That's why I always know the link. I've learned my lessons.
So it's nice to see everyone again. It's been a while.
Yes, it's been a while indeed, yes.
Mm-hmm.
So who would like to speak first and start the ball rolling?
Well, I don't mind starting. I would like to start.
Good.
I think one thing that has been really clear for me since August is that where I spent quite a few months doing a program about online marketing, I realized I do not like online marketing at all. And I have no interest in online marketing. It's like I've gone through I was getting 100 emails a day, everyone trying to sell me something, and I've unsubscribed to everything because I started to realize that I was looking outside for, answers, and nobody had the answer anyway. They might have all thought they did, but I couldn't see that anyone really had an answer to anything. And so that's one piece. So I got rid of all that. Then the other thing is that I realized I just don't like sitting on my okole, on my butt, typing on the computer, and looking at a computer screen for hours of the day. And when I launched my little online, business that I thought would be fun, it wasn't fun at all. And then once I kind of got a little clearer about that, which was the end of August, a woman in Honolulu called me up to ask me to develop a new massage school, which I had actually had a massage school since 1980s, all through 25 years, and then I sold it. So I've actually started to develop this school, and I have students, real people in front of me, and I'm enjoying that so much more. And then another piece is still the idea of self-care or radical self-care or my radical self-care movement. I think still has huge value vis-a-vis what you're talking about too, Aline. With as much time as people spend in front of computers and all the technology, that it's become culturally more difficult to actually be with people, which is hugely unfortunate. And so I think that there is a way that will emerge of what we used to always call high-tech, high-touch. So this has been going on since the 80s, the whole idea of high-tech, and that we see our contribution as more high-touch, and still that if everyone had more just ease with touch and how we can just do a simple hand massage or foot massage or simple stuff. I think it's all so simple. That there's an important place there to be in contribution. So, threads. But it got really clear for me. I guess that's partly my point. It got really clear for me what I want to do and what's enjoyable for me, and to start to be more clear about what brings out our best. Like, what is the best Elizabeth? How do I bring out, what do I do every day, all the time, to bring out the best parts of me? And I realized that was not being online.
I hear you. I hear you. Yes, and there is one piece that I would like to stress that you've said. The conditioning of how we ought to do things. I fell into that trap myself with both feet. Following this expert, then this expert, then buying this program, then buying that program. And eventually realizing they don't really have a clear answer either, and when you keep on listening, for example, I know we have met in Brinda's program, Elizabeth, and when I keep on listening to her stuff, she says the same thing over and over again, and it's like, that's her message that she is broadcasting.
Right.
And listening to everybody's message makes you deaf to your own. Whatever your specific perspective to the piece, to the puzzle is that needs to come out. And that's how you keep on the, like on the, what is this animal that kind of, what is it?
On the treadmill. On the treadmill.
Yeah, exactly.
The little you're on the treadmill.
Yeah.
Searching for the right person always outside of yourself, not from within, You're searching outside of yourself. And that's a conditioning. We've been programmed that way, So requiring that reversal where we have everything within and allow that listening in. Yes, Bridget, go ahead.
Well, I'm so resonating with your discovery, Elizabeth, because I discovered this myself earlier this year, and I took down all my online programs, and I don't sell them anymore. I took down my, my videos and everything because I realized that I didn't like people buying my material if I couldn't actually help them. And the only way I help them is when I sit with them one-on-one. So I took them all down, and I realized there was this little club of very, very clever people who were, and for me, it feels like they're sponging. They're sponging off what is a very real need in our world, and that is for people like ourselves with a message, with something really important to share with the world, and our sense of we don't know how to do it, and that sense that they were sponging off us. I got really angry about it for a while, and angry at those people, and I saw that was actually harming me to be angry with them, and so now I accept that it's part of my learning, and I'm grateful to them because if I hadn't sort of seen them as this little very tight tight group of people who were promoting each other's programs so fast, and I get an email from one and I get an email from them all, and I too unsubscribed from all of those databases, and I'm grateful because I feel that being grateful allows me to sit comfortably with where I've got to.
Yeah, and just to add to that too, Bridget, I really agree, because one of the reasons I went to online was because I wanted to help more people, and I wanted to share with more people. But
me too.
What I realized was it really came down to exactly what you're saying. It's a little tight clique. And so now I have rethought it. So I realized that when I sit down with one person and have an exchange and we share, then they go out with a higher frequency, and I go out with a higher frequency, so we are helping more people. So I just wanted to I had to let myself come back to realizing that I can solve, what my, let's say my focus or my intention in a variety of ways. It doesn't have to be online with hundreds of people. It can be spreading out like everyone that anyone talks to. Like now we are, 10 or 8 people here. So we're going to leave here and spread through our whole day to hundreds of people. So that's like good for me now. I'm happy. I don't have to do more, be more, go anywhere else.
And we are online. We are doing it online. Don't forget.
Yes, but there
is a part of online which is powerful,
Well, it's
Go, Deborah.
I think Viviane had raised her hand, and then Deborah, and then I don't know who else. Okay, go ahead, Viviane.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say that I never hooked into the usual suspects, I call them, who always visited our website, our email, and wanted more and more money. And so the fact that I didn't have the money helped in the first place. Secondly, I just always felt, because I've been a meditator, a Buddhist meditator now for 36 years, I always draw within myself, from within myself, to recharge myself from a higher perspective, and then to be able to give of that to all my patients. And so when I opened up my healing center 20 years ago, actually in December, this December will be 20 years now, that I decided it was, for to devote myself to being of service, and I felt that there was nothing that I could do that would be more worthwhile. So I did, and through all the threats from the local rednecks, get out of here or else, and through the city not supporting me, and not allowing me to do a book signing at the local library, which is really taking away my First Amendment right, I believe it is. So there are so many. There have been so many encroachments on me, and not to mention certain people who felt threatened by what I did and didn't want me to be around. So I had decided that I decided long ago that although I am in this world, I don't have to be of this world, and that I can continue to do whatever good I can, and only read things that make me a better person, only watch things on television that make me a better person. It had to be that way for me, because otherwise I would be just submerged in that sea of helplessness. And it's amazing that this violence is taking place in the world now, but at the same time it's not, because those of us know who are augmenting our vibratory energy, that certain people are being eliminated from this plane. They have better things to do on the other plane, but those who create evil and who are existing in the name of evil are going to be eliminated too. It's just a matter of time when the law of cause and effect will catch up. So I just draw within myself, withdraw within myself. When my dear sister friend died a year and 5 months ago, I was extremely lost and still feel that void. But instead of reaching out to other groups as I had before, I've now realized that that's not an answer, because I was judged and criticized and condemned. And Buddhist meditation has taught me to let go of the ego and let go of judgment, which is very hard for us human beings to do, both good and bad judgment, just to let go of judgment. And that's been the biggest lesson I've learned, and to be able to withdraw within myself and find the peace that is always resident within me and the answers that are always within me. So that's all I wanted to say. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Vivian. Yes, I can resonate to let go of judgments. That's a new space for me, because it was such an automatic for me. Thank you. Mm-hmm. Deborah, you wanted to chime in before.
I did. I think it's interesting, because I was sitting here listening to one of those programs this morning that I decided to look into, and as I was listening to it, I was judging myself and saying, this person is so articulate, and then the other side of my brain was saying, and in the area that that you work in, you are very articulate, and stop putting yourself down because you're not articulate in that area, you're articulate in your area. And so it's interesting that this is the conversation we're having today, to really tap into who we are and not let those outside forces really control who we want to be.
It's part of that feeling of, that usually, I think it was Liz who mentioned that, like that internal healing of of our masculine brain, to balance it within ourselves. We have to do that inner work, you know. There's no change that's going to happen outside. It's not by buying another program or following somebody else, but by balancing those polarities within ourselves and healing them, healing that self-judgment, you know, whatever, the comparison to somebody else. And then that's how we keep stuck, really, and keep on buying somebody else's program, because
Right.
we're not paying attention to that internal violence that we perpetrate against ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Bridget.
Okay, and then you, Harriet. So I just wanted to share that after I had decided, you know, to take down all my online programs, and that really the work I wanted to do was to was one-on-one with people, face-to-face in groups, and so I set that intention very powerfully at the beginning of August, I think, and within a month, I had the opportunity to, with a group that I'm working with. I'm a trustee of a group called A New Zealand, and we want to bring in ways of measuring well-being as opposed to measuring GDP. And and we want to do that in community. And we were talking about the process that we would use, and I suddenly realized that I've used a process in the past called Future Search, and so I told them about this process, and they said, "Great, how do we do it?" And that has led to a proposal to them to use this process called Future Search, and now it's led to me going to Philadelphia in 2 weeks' time to do some more training with the people who created that Future Search process, and come back and be able to offer it. And it's all that intention to work with other people face to face has also led to somebody who was a client of mine a few years ago. We were having a conversation, and she was telling me about her nonviolent communication workshops that she does, and how they weren't working very well. And she just looked at me and she said, "Would you help me?" And so now together we're building something that is, you know, together we will work on a workshop, and we will work with people one-on-one, face-to-face. And so the power of intention is so great that, you know, I set that intention to not work online and to work face-to-face. And when you set a powerful intention, the universe starts to show you ways that you can realize that intention. I'm really very excited about what's going to happen now for me. So just wanted to share that with you.
Great.
Fantastic.
Yes. Power of intention, definitely. Yes.
And
alignment.
Yeah.
Being true to your higher guidance and to yourself.
Yep.
Yes. I would like to share, if it's okay. Yeah. Thank you for sharing your experiences now with the online, because I've been also looking into it, but feeling that, you know, need for going to search from within. And I would like to relate to the topic of we have to do this inner balancing of our way of working. I've been doing that since August, because I have a new co-creator with me, and I'm very, very privileged to have a very spiritual man coming into my life with whom to explore the dynamics of the inner masculine and the feminine forces. So we are invited to do a global online summit on sharing this, igniting your inner man and woman. So in a way, I am led now to more share online. So I'm like, you know, looking into it from another perspective, following the guidance. So let's see what that opens up to. I don't know, but of course I'm not intending to become an online person, but really feeling deep gratitude for you beautiful ladies here of what we have been doing together, so seeing the online possibilities maybe from a new perspective. And this oneness perspective, I was really feeling during the meditation when you know, how we were kind of holding the globe together with this powerful intention of coming together, of sharing our light and our truth. And this already, I know, I feel it has a deep impact. I cannot explain it, but feeling it. So, and I have been exploring this because probably I would say my ego is now, because I have worked with my soul recovery, doing a lot of, because I have not been completely present in my body, which I realized now through deep healing processes because of birth traumas and so on. So now it's like that the ego is kind of should subjugate to the soul, so that the soul would truly lead everything what I do. But this is now in a very big shift process. So I listen, Aline, the same has happened with me, that the true compassion and the true love can only emerge when the soul is really present, when we are present in our bodies on a deep level. So the fragmented self, what you talked about, to bring it all home, being at home in who you are, and then starting to work from there. But I don't know how long this process will take, but I trust it very deeply. So let's see what it will bring out.
Yeah, and where I was hearing, you are being guided to do online stuff. So, that's it. It's you're not listening outside. Listening to your guidance and following it. You know, it's quite a different energy when you share it. You know, it's not. I'm not enough. I need to do somebody else's program. You know, it's quite. You know? I just wanted to make that point because you know, don't discount it. If it's coming from guidance, it's right for you. That's what I say. You know.
I think it's really important not to discount the online, because so many people are online, and as you say, Aline, if it's coming from your internal guidance, if you're sharing something and the online makes it possible for someone you've never met to actually have a moment of insight into how they're living their lives, then that's really, really powerful. And when you share online, the amazing thing is that you really don't know how far it can go, and it can go really, really far. And so it is part of our world now, online. And so I'm not saying it's bad. I'm not saying don't do it. I'm just saying I don't want to try and teach that way. I want to work with people one-on-one, face to face, and that's just how I want to work. But I'm making a series of little videos which I will share on my YouTube channel, and whoever discovers those and takes something from them, then I'll be grateful for that. But I'm just giving it. You know, it's not. I'm not trying to sell anything or do anything.
That's the gifting economy. You know, that's gifting your knowledge, and that seems to be also something that is quite real for me, you know, because it's complicated to build an online business, you know, really complicated, you know. It takes resources, it takes staff, etc. And it's like, you know, if we really want to be of service, why not gift it, give it, you know, share it, and make it available. Whoever is meant to hear it will find it, without making this huge marketing thing out of it. You know, that's also something that is emerging for me lately. Deborah?
So it's interesting that I found online actually enlarged my ability to reach out to people because of physical problems. And now, as I've been online for a number of years, I'm shifting that to be more of service and re-looking at what I want to be doing, re-looking at how I'm going to get my message out and to reach people. that again, that's enabled me to do a lot of one-on-one with people around the world that I would not be able to connect with. And I've chosen it not to be a huge money-making situation so much as more of being of service. And it feels good when I can do that.
Yeah, and you know, just look at us. We have all met online. You know, we would not be talking today if we hadn't met online. There's none of you, I mean, yes, there's a few of you that I've met face to face. Not that many, actually, you know. Actually, only one, Deborah, I met. All the others I've never met face to face, online only. Deborah came to see me once I was passing through Denver, and she said, "Oh, I drive to the airport," and I say hi, and so that's how we met. But you know, half an hour.
Right.
And I almost met Viviane last year, but I was just too tired to drive to Los Angeles when I was, you know, the week between two heavy workshops, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, I think it's not to be discarded online, but it's how do we use it?
Right.
And what do we, and using where we are at, you know, that feminine leadership we want to spread and see how we can use the online to get that message across. You know, leading from joy and being connected rather than doing the old paradigm thing, which is a form of manipulation still, you know. Trying to convince people that you have to buy my program because without this it will not work. No.
Mm-hmm.
It's coming back to all those things we need to heal it within ourselves that are happening outside. They're just a reflection of what goes inside. And the more, I guess, we can spread the message of healing internally, what we see outside, and rise that energy, rise that vibration, the more it will contribute. Oh, Sandra joined us.
Hi, Sandra.
Hi, Sandra. Hi.
Oh, Sandra is another one that I've met live a few times, actually, in Canada. I used to pass in front of her village or a little town when I was driving to Montreal. Did you want to say something that you chimed in?
Just hello, everyone, and I'll listen and catch up.
All right.
Hello.
Hi.
Can I say something?
Sure.
Oh, well, because it's really troubling me that the people who are perpetrating the horrors that we're seeing in the world at the moment, and it's causing a lot of people to be even to have more hate inside themselves. And I'm just really, I mean, I'm crying now when I think about it. Because what comes to me about those people is how can we love them?
Yes.
How can we love those people? Because that's what they need. They need love more than anything else. And I don't, yeah, I just feel that it's happening for a really, really powerful reason, and it's happening in order that I learn to love people, everybody, and not hate anybody. And I worry that that the violence that they are doing which comes from their need to be loved. And that's where I see it. It comes from their need to be loved, but is going to make us in the West angry and use more force against those people. And I don't think that's the way forward.
I was going to say that, A Course in Miracles says every attack is a call for love.
Yes.
And that's what's going on right now in a world where people are feeling less and less in touch with humanity, with each other, within themselves. They've become so alienated from themselves because of technology and everything else. And it's a shame because these people are destroying human life, they're destroying human values, they're destroying artifacts. They have no respect for anything. They don't have a cause, really. Their whole reason for being is to destroy and annihilate. And it only causes other people to want to destroy them, as you mentioned, Bridget, and it doesn't help anyone. So it's a big conundrum here. What do we do? And the only thing I can think of doing is that we join together as a group right now to send them the white light of empowerment, and not empowerment so much as the white light of wisdom, so that they receive love and wisdom. And I think that, was it Lynn, what's her last name, I can't think of, who did the experiment of sending energy to a certain part of the world where the biggest conflict is happening. And we can do that in Paris, we can do that in Brussels, we can do that to any part of the world that is experiencing that. And we don't have to be together at the time to do it. We can remind each other that anytime there's a conflict, all of us can come together in our minds, in our imagination, and send this white light of wisdom and unconditional love to those areas to penetrate the darkness and to alleviate suffering and to make sure that this doesn't perpetrate itself again. And I do this in my meditation every morning. I set my intention to bring peace to the world by sending this energy every morning, not just to my area, but to just every area in the world, including covering the entire planet, the entire globe, with this white light that is so much more powerful than I could ever be.
Yes, definitely.
Yes.
And that makes a lot of sense. I'm in a group that we meet once a month to actually meditate for 36 minutes, sending peace and light around the world. And there's no reason why we couldn't be doing that as well.
Right.
So there's a huge movement out there, I know, of people doing this. And we can certainly join in that.
We could actually do it now. We could actually just take a minute of silence and just, send that light. This is actually, very appropriate because it's exactly a week now that all those attacks happened, almost time for time.
Yeah.
Taking a stand for love rather than giving energy to the violence, sending the light. I can feel the power of that feeling that we are feeling. Thank you. And we can keep on doing this. I'm just mindful of the time. We have about another 5 minutes left before the end of our call. Mind you, we can go longer. But I just wanted to make sure that you all had a chance to talk, because we haven't heard of you, Fiona, if you wanted to.
Yeah. I feel for me, it's been about the non-judgment that really resonated with me. And I feel an integration of what everybody's saying. You know, that's the oneness, that we're all in this together. And regarding the terrorists, when I looked at the picture of the person, I don't know the name, who had been killed in Paris, I could just see him as I do a mother does with a son, you know, like he was born was created. So I was somehow able to do that within my heart. And as you opened the session, I felt this peacefulness in my heart, but everything else around seems very scattered. Because I have been doing a lot of work in the house. I've submitted a book proposal to Hay House, which I found very, very difficult to follow a process. But I wasn't able to fully let go of control, because I felt as if the old sort of way of conforming to this is how it should be done. But I know that when I go within, that power and strength is there for me, and being part of this group and the other groups that I'm part of, I feel stronger, and I feel that love will overcome, you know, the Christ consciousness, I call it, however we label it, because it's pure unconditional love. And so that's really what comes from me. We've got a strong connection, and just being part of the group, everything everybody says so resonates, because we are all one. And when trying to be, it was interesting, because as we were doing the healing, I remembered my husband's words, and I always think of my husband as being like the male energy and the one who is trying to control me. And but I really evolved with this, and probably more so since August, you know, when we started working together. And he said to me tonight, before we went out, remember about the Kenyan school children who were killed? So it was like, that means a lot to me that he is with me, because I keep saying, you know, why can't I have these conversations that I have in the women's circles and with my friends? Why can't I have it with him? But he's my grandson as well. So I'm recognizing the male energy in me and him in a way. So that's what I really wanted to share, and just gratitude for creating this space for us, and just feeling the wonderful energies that are surrounding us. And the more, like, we give up control of whether we're going to be online or offline, or once we let go of control, that lets love in, because it's fear-based. That's how I interpret it. And I've noticed it in little things, the tiny little things that I go to do. I'll say, no, that's me trying to control. That's fear-based. And my perfectionist comes out, and all my patterns come up, and I'm like, oops, whoops, the daisy, here they come. Time to let them go, and I know how strong I am and how I've grown and taken responsibility. Thank you.
Thank you, Fiona. Yes, we are all strong, very strong. And when we are coming from that center and that love, we are even stronger.
Yeah. Even in the midst of chaos. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And I don't know if Sandra, if you wanted to say something, because I've muted you. You need to unmute yourself because there was noise coming from your side. Say something. You need to unmute yourself. Maybe not.
Am I unmuted?
Yes, you are unmuted. Go ahead.
My feel. I mean, I've just come into the conversation, but my feeling is, especially hearing there was something else that went on, I think yesterday or today. It's so sad that the world has come to this when we're supposed to be so advanced and we know so much about togetherness and oneness. But again, they say spiritually, when these things happen, it is to alert people like us to have this kind of conversation that we're having and for the awareness to grow. And so if we look at it from that perspective, I know there's 1,000 other reasons we have to look at it from other perspectives as well. But people like us and keeping these circles and these thoughts and those kinds of things, as we talked about, a week ago, everything has a ripple effect. So that's what I'd like to say.
Yes, yes. Those events, like you said, they are wake-up calls for us to come into more love and perhaps for people to wake up for the first time to the manipulation that the conditioned mind has been under, because many people still have not woken up to that. So it certainly serves a larger purpose that is beyond our own understanding.
I can just briefly say that my awakening started with 9/11. So here I am now, totally transformed. So if something good can be said to come out of it, that's what that it was.
Thank you for saying that. Yeah, so true, because those things trigger some deep emotions.
Yeah.
It shakes something loose, and then you are on the journey. No matter what, you cannot go back.
No.
You cannot ever undo something that created such an impact.
Yeah, I just want to say, if I may, that I have to go in a minute, but I just want to say that, having lived in the Middle East, having been born and brought up there, not because of my choices, but anyways, I lived with violence all my life, and I was surrounded by violence, and I've seen people get killed in front of me or burned alive in front of me, atrocities that a child should never have to see. And it hasn't made me a worse person. It's made me a better person, but at the same time very consciously aware of what humanity is capable of. And that's a shame, actually. But it's only made me choose to follow a discipline that has never fought a war in its name, and that's what I do. But anyways, I just want to say goodbye, and I'm so happy to have been a part of this group today, and thank you so much for being here. And Aline, merci d'avoir organisé tout ça. And I hope that we can meet again. Aline, appelle-moi bientôt, and we'll get together again. And I wish you all the goodness that there is left in this world. Big kisses to everybody.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, Viviane. Okay. Bye.
Mm.
So, do somebody else want to have a last word? So before we hang up for tonight, for me in the morning for some of you. I can stick around a little while still.
I am running out of battery, so if I disappear.
All right, you know that you'll have. Well, I think we have said everything that we had to say for today, and just let's keep on sourcing love and sending it out to the world and around us. That's what I am kind of staying with, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Tonight, you know, we have that power, and just use it. Use it for the highest good.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, lovely ending. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Aline. Thank you, everybody.
I'll be
For
in
bringing
touch
us back together.
in 2 weeks or in what, next 2 weeks again. Is that a good time? The frequency for our connections?
Yeah, it's good for me.
All right. So I'll send out another email with another doodle, or maybe the same time. We'll see.
Thank you, Aline.
Yeah, thanks for creating this space.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Love.
Mm-hmm.
Bye for now.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.